Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Sha नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा वेलकम ऑल ऑफ यू. So yesterday we studied introduction of Isopanisad. Guruji. Yes, bro.
Lordji, please continue. Somebody else, I believe.
Hare Krishna. So we saw in the introduction that the Shabda Praman is very important. Generally, there are 4 defects in a human being, and only with the Shabda Praman we can understand the knowledge. And there is Aroha Pantha and Avaroha Pantha. And in the Avaroha Pantha, that is the descending way, we should accept the knowledge, not the ascending way. And after that, Prabhupada said that there are several acharyas who have commented on Ishopanishad, and especially on the Vedanta Sutra. And Vedanta Sutra is the first commentary of Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's why we should take shelter of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the ultimate understanding. After that, we also saw the whole Sri Ishopanishad at glance. There is living with harmony. Then there is a spiritual vision, Vidya, Avidya, then Sambhuti and Asambhuti, and also ultimately the prayers to the Lord. So after seeing the flow of Sri Ishopanishad, now we will begin today with invocation mantra, the complete Lord. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. So this is a very often this is a prayer which is very regularly offered by Bhakti yogis, Jnana yogis, Ashtanga yogis, in Hatha yoga also, where the meditation of different features of a Supreme Personality of Godhead or Absolute Truth, where there are Brahmavadis, there is Paramatmavadi, or there is worshippers of Bhagavan, the personalist. So all these people, they also offer this prayer. So this is an invocation mantra. Invocation is also very important. If you take any scripture, there is an invocation mantra in that scripture. Or acharyas, when they are writing, or whenever we are doing some auspicious activity, we are hearing the class, or we are giving the class, we are conducting some spiritual meeting, or before beginning of any auspicious activity, we do chant invocation. So what are we invoking? We are invoking auspiciousness, and that's why invocation mantra is also called as the Mangala Charana. So there are Mangala Charan prayers. Whenever the acharyas they have given commentary, either on Srimad Bhagavatam or any other scriptures, they have offered nice Mangalacharan prayers. And that's why if you see in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada writes these Mangalacharan prayers. So Mangalacharan means Mangala Acharan. It is for invoking Mangala Acharan. Invoking, Acharan means invoking or inviting, or let there be auspiciousness. And then, in the while doing that, we do remember a spiritual master and many, many spiritual masters. We do remember Radharani, Krishna, or Panchatattva, or Sada Goswami. And then we are offering prayers to Srila Prabhupada, and we are offering prayers to all the Vaishnavas, remembering the Panchatattva and Hare Krishna mantra. We are basically doing invoking the auspiciousness. Many times in the temple, before the festival, there is Adivas. So many times devotee asks, what is this Adivas? So this Adivas is also invoking auspiciousness, and that's why there are special 24 elements which are offered before the ceremony. And by offering those 24 auspicious items to the Lord, we are invoking auspiciousness. So in our Vedic culture, this is an important fact that before beginning anything, we should invoke auspiciousness, and then it is very easy to situate oneself in a Shuddha Sattva and then absorb into that knowledge. So here, this particular prayer, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. So this is a prayer which is invocation mantra. It is invoking auspiciousness. And this particular prayer is also talking about the complete Lord. How the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is complete. If something which is incomplete, how it can be called as a Supreme Lord? How it can be the the Supreme Personality of Godhead? The Supreme Personality of Godhead has to be complete. If it is incomplete, it cannot be called as God. Otherwise, there are so many incomplete living entities, or there are so many other incomplete things. They can also be called as a Supreme Lord. Like many times our Srila Prabhupada used to give this argument saying that there is no mother father for the Supreme Person of Godhead. When it is said Anadir Adir Govinda, so there is no beginning and there is no end. So the Supreme Person of Godhead does not have mother father, because everything emanates from him, everything begins from him. There is no beginning of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's why it is very, very important for us to understand that the Supreme Lord, there is no beginning, there is no end, and it is complete. Like we in our DT worship seminar, we were taught that whenever the measurement has to be given, we measure like this. This much, the cup size is this much, or whatever measurements we have to do. So if they have to show, what is the size of your DTs, you cannot show like this. Where we have to show the size of DTs like this. One hand up going up, one hand going down. Why? Because the Supreme Lord is unlimited. He can expand, he can extract. He is unlimited. You cannot say that Supreme Lord is bound with this much of size. If you are putting hand like that, there you are trying to bound it. The point is that the Supreme Lord is complete, he is unlimited, he is achintya, he is inconceivable. Supreme Lord is, beginning, there is no beginning, there is no end. He is anadir, adir, he is ajanama, he does not take birth like the other living entities. Like this, there are so many divine qualities of a Supreme Person of Godhead which convinces us, which is a factor which is to be considered when you are calling somebody the Supreme Person of Godhead. That is he achintya, is he complete, is he inconceivable, is he, unlimited Lord? That's very important to understand. Because for a jiva, for a living entity, there is a limit. For a jiva, he cannot be called as everything. And that's why a living entity, jiva, is called as an anu, and Supreme Personality of Godhead is called as the Vibhu. When it is said Vibhu, Vibhu is, there is no measurement. It's unlimited. And that's why whenever we have to understand about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ishvara, he is the complete Lord. So this particular invocation mantra talks about Krishna being complete. So whenever it is said Krishna being complete, that's the form of Krishna is complete. The creation of Krishna is complete. Creation of him, he being a Supreme Personality of Godhead is complete. Like many times it is said that, the Krishna is the Supreme Lord, then from here the Balramji comes, and then there is Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Anuruddha, Vasudev, then there's Mahavishnu, then there are other three Vishnus, and then there are many, many avatars coming from Vishnu. That is the description given. So if you take the in a pond, if somebody is fetching a water from the pond, he's taking one bucket and second bucket and third bucket and 10 bucket and 50 buckets. The water level of that pond is going down. So what we understand that this water content is not complete. But when it is Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is an incarnation coming from him, still he remains the complete. And that's why Prabhupada gives an example of a sun. There is sun and there are sun rays. Sun rays are emanating, coming out of the sun globe. But when sun rays are coming out, the size of the sun is not reducing, the energy of the sun is not reducing, or the sun as that effulgent tara is as it is. There is no change into it. Those there are hundreds of sun rays are coming out. Similarly, from the Supreme Personal Godhead, there are so many incarnations who come. And even after so many incarnations they come, still he remains the same. We will be studying in further discussion. There is Shaktavesha avatar, there is Leela avatar, there is Guna avatar, there is Rupa Madhuri, there are multiple avatars of Krishna. And when there are multiple avatars of Krishna, there are so many of them. And it is said there are unlimited incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead. We cannot count. When we are asked how many incarnations we know, so we call for 10 incarnations, Dashavata. But Dashavata is a glorification done by Jayadev Goswami. Apart from that, there are unlimited supreme forms of the Lord. The incarnations of the Lord are coming. And even after so many incarnations of the Lord, they come out of the Supreme Person of Godhead Krishna. The incarnation itself is complete, and at the same time, there is no change in the Lord. So when this particular verse, which talks about Om Purnamada Purnavidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate, this talks about the complete Lord. So we will try to understand the word-to-word meaning of this particular shloka, and then we'll go ahead. So the perfectly complete Lord, the source of many complete units. So as I said, the incarnation which are coming out of Supreme Lord Krishna, those incarnations are also a complete unit. They are also a complete unit. That's very important. It's not like you make one square and then you divide into 4 parts and then you divide into 8 and you divide into 16 and then one part is taken out. Then that the whole circle is also not complete, and the part which is coming out is also not complete. That is not the case with Supreme Lord. He himself remains complete, and everything coming out also is a complete thing. So it's very important whenever we are glorifying Lord, this is very important to understand. Another quality regarding this completeness is whatever he speaks is also complete. The jnana, what we are receiving through Bhagavad Gita, it's a song of Krishna. Yas Vayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmad Vinishruta. It is said that this particular song is coming out of the mouth of Padmanabha, that is, who has a navel, whose navel is like a lotus, whose whole body is like a lotus. So that lotus-eyed Krishna, that Namo Pankaj Nabhaya, Namo Pankaj Bali, Namo Pankaj Netraya, Namaste Pankaj Angre. That Padmanabha Swami, from his mouth, this particular Gita Amrita is coming. And that's why this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which is coming out of Lord, is complete. The knowledge of Vedas came out of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's why that knowledge is also complete. There is no fault into it, and there is nothing incomplete about it. And that's why we should have faith on Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, which is, all the Vedic scriptures, that these scriptures are flawless. That's very, very important to understand. There is no fault into it. Fault is within us. When we are trying to find out some mistake or something wrong, fault is within us. And that's why even if the knowledge coming out of Krishna is complete, the incarnations coming out of Krishna is complete. And whatever Krishna has designed or planned is also a complete thing. That's very important to understand. So, Om Purnamada, Om Purnamadaha Purnaidam. The Supreme Lord Krishna is perfect and complete. And this world is also complete. Purnat Purnam Udachyate, because it has emanated from the complete whole. The Supreme Lord Krishna is perfect and complete. This world is also complete because it has emanated from the Supreme Lord. Purnasya Purnamadaya, although many complete units emanate from him. Purnam eva vashishyate. He still remains the complete balance. Proper translation. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all the emanation from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as a complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself, because he is the complete whole. Even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So I hope everybody understood this verse, which is a glorification of a supreme personality of Godhead, who is complete in himself. Okay. Another meaning of this verse is also the Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and the absolute truth, unmanifest, is perfect, complete, endowed with all the energies. His avatari, source of all incarnation. All of the avataras and incarnations that emanate from him to expand his pastime are also perfect and complete. So it is, though it is Narsimha, Varaha, Rama, Parashurama, or though it is Hayagriva, which is not so much explained or not does not come as a part, because Hayagriva is the Lord who protected all the Vedas, or there are Shaktavish avatar like Prithu, or there is there are many Guna avatar of Krishna. So all these things, all the avatars which come out of Krishna are complete. They are complete in itself. Although unlimited perfect incarnation and the universes emanate from him, Krishna always remains the perfect and complete in all respect. So even after so many incarnations come out of Krishna, still Krishna remains complete and perfect. In no circumstances is there a diminution of perfection of the Supreme Lord. So in any condition, there is no diminution of the Supreme Lord, and that's why he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So, just to understand the incarnations coming out of Krishna, very often this particular question is asked, that is all the avatars coming out of Krishna, or is all the avatar coming out of Vishnu? Or maybe many times this question is asked that Krishna is the incarnation of Vishnu. Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, and from him Krishna is manifested. So if you go to Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they have this very strong, or even Madhvas, they also have this strong understanding. So it is very important to understand that Krishna, when we say Krishna, the all attractive, the Krishna, the supreme person of God, Srila Prabhupada very clearly explains that everything is coming out of Krishna, everything is emanating from Krishna. So originally, the Supreme Lord is Krishna. From Krishna, there is a next expansion, which is Balaramji. Balaramji is a Chitta potency. We are going to study that. Prabhupada is talking about this in the purport. That how the Supreme Lord is Satchidananda Vigraha. So in that, the Chitta potency, the knowledge potency is none other than Balramji. And then from Balramji, there is further expansion of Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Vasudeva, Aniruddha and Vasudeva. This is called the four quadruple expansion of Supreme Lord. So these four incarnations are Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha and Vasudeva. And from this four quadruple expansion, there is a further expansion of Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu, there are three Vishnus who come, and these three Vishnus have three other jobs to do. There are three job descriptions given for these three Vishnu. One is Karanadakshay Vishnu, another is Shirodakshay Vishnu, and another is Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and third is Shirodakshay Vishnu. Now these three Vishnus, they are lying on a bed of Shesha, and Lakshmi is massaging their feet. That's a beautiful form of them. One is lying in a Karana ocean, another is lying in a Garbha ocean, and third is lying in the Shira ocean. So Karana ocean is a Karnodakshay Vishnu, from whose body there are so many Brahmandas they come. Now in this verse, it is not only about the incarnation, it is also spoken about the phenomenal world where we are residing. What is this phenomenal world? That is a Brahmanda which is coming out of the body of Karnodakshay Vishnu. So Karnodakshay Vishnu is lying. When he is inhaling, there's all these Brahmandas who are expanded, they all come into his body again. When he exhales, that time all these Brahmandas, they come out. So this inhaling and exhaling goes on, and then the Brahmandas they get in, and then Brahmandas they go out. So now I'm talking about not one Brahmanda. Like on our body, there are so many holes from where the sweat comes out. But then from the holes of body of Lord Vishnu, Karnadaksha Vishnu, There are hundreds and lakhs of Brahmandas they come out. And when one Brahmanda is huge in size. So one Brahmanda contains 14 planetary systems. And in that same Brahmanda, there is Vishnu, which is Garbhodaksha Vishnu, who is lying in a Garbha ocean. Garbha ocean mein the Brahmaji who is lying, it's Garbhodaksha Vishnu. From his navel, the lotus comes out. And on the top of that lotus, Brahmaji's take birth. So the stem of that lotus is nothing but the 14 planetary system. The 14 planetary system, where there are 7 upper planets and 7 lower planets. Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Janalok, Tapalok, Swargalok, Satyalok, and Brahmalok. And then there is Satala, Patala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala. There are 7 lower planets. So where we are residing is on the Bhu, that is the platform, that is a disk. So it is like a disk which has 7 oceans and which has 7 lands. So there's a disk. If you take a CD, you'll understand that. CD has a hole in between, and exactly in the center there is a Meru Parvat. This is all description comes in the Bhagavatam, 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Vedic cosmology. So there is a disk, and in between the disk there is a Meru Parvat, and then next to the Meru Parvat, there is Himalayan ranges, and there is peacock feather ranges. There are multiple ranges. On one side, Lavana Kone, like when we chant what do you say? Sankalpa. In that Sankalpa, we say that Jambudipe, Bharaturshe, Bharatakande, Meru Parvatsa Kone, Lavana Kone, Dakshine, Meru Parvatsa Dakshine, Lavana Kone. So there is a salt ocean, that is the first ocean. And on the edge of that salt ocean, there is a Prithvi where we are residing. So sometimes, we become proud of something that I'm rich, I'm intelligent, I'm beautiful, I'm powerful, I have a strength. But we have to understand the existence, our own existence. First of all, the size of the living entity, the original existence of us, is the 10,000 part of the tip of the head. That is the size what we have. And that living entity, he thinks that I'm Krishna, I'm the Supreme Lord, I'm great, I'm amazed, I own this particular part of the city, I own this particular part of country, and he's very proud of it. But then we have to understand, in this whole creation, we have no existence. I'm sorry, I'm going a little off track from the main discussion of Purnamada, but that is to understand our existence and knowing the supremacy of the Lord. So we are talking about 3 oceans now: Karnodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and Shirodaksha Vishnu. Where now Garbhodaksha Vishnu, from his navel, there is a lotus which comes out, and in that steam there are 14 planetary systems. In that 14 planets, there is a middle planet which is Bhuloka, and on this Bhuloka, close to the salt ocean, there is a small round, that is Earth. So it is said the size of the Earth is, in this whole creation, the size of the Earth is like a 1 mustard seed. राई का दाना छोक लगाते हैं ना, उसमें भर भर के राई का दाना डालते हैं. But our Earth size is just 1 राई का दाना, 1 seed, mustard seed. That is the size of the Earth in the whole creation. In that there is some country called India. In that India, there is Maharashtra, and then Maharashtra there is Pune. In that Pune, there is Katras Kondwa. In that Katras Kondwa, there is ISKCON NVCC. And then in some corner, in some small office, Kaustubha is sitting. And then if he thinks that I am the creator of this whole universe, then that's a joke, actually. So considering that our existence is very small. So for us to understand that, the Supreme Lord, we have to understand his creation. And that creation of the Lord is also complete. It is not incomplete. It is not something absurd. It is not something which is just randomly come. That creation of the Lord is complete. So this is just one Brahmanda, what we are talking, where Garbhodaksha Vishnu is lying on a Garbha ocean, on a bed of Ananta Shesha. And the disk which I was talking about, it has salt ocean, then there is ocean of sugar water, there is ocean of milk, there is ocean of curd, then there is ocean of honey, there is ocean of Madeira. Like that, there are 7 oceans, and next to the ocean there is land. Ocean, land, ocean, land. There are 7 oceans, and then there are 7 lands. And like that, this whole disk is expanded. In that, where there is a Shirodaksha, where the milk ocean is there. In that milk ocean, there is a Shirodaksha Vishnu who is lying on the bed of Anantashesh. So that Shirodaksha Vishnu has his own role to play. Now, Karnadaksha Vishnu, from where the Brahmandas come out. In that one Brahmanda, there is a Shirodaksha Vishnu. In that Brahmanda, sorry, there is Garbhodaksha Vishnu. In that Garbhodaksha Vishnu's creation, there is Shirodaksha Vishnu. That Shirodaksha Vishnu is none other than the Paramatma situated in everybody's heart. So when Krishna has so many roles to play in his creation, or these are the expansion of Krishna. After understanding the systematic expansion of Krishna, we understand the original Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, and his whole expansion is like this. All these expansions, what we are talking now, they are also complete. And from Mahavishnu, there are different incarnations who come out. Now, Krishna also comes out of Mahavishnu. That is also a Leela which is performed, or in the expansion. As I said, from all the avatars, they come from Mahavishnu. So there, it is very important to understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is original. But apart from this particular Yuga cycle which is going on, currently there is 28 Yuga cycle which is going on. When I say Yuga cycle, it is Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. There is one Yuga Chakra. Like that, there are multiple Yuga Chakras which goes on. So, it is like one day of Brahma is the 72 Yuga Chakra. So in that, the 28 Yuga cycle, which is currently going on, like in Marathi, there is Panduranga's prayer, Aarti. Yuge 28 Vitevari Bhupha Vamangi Rukmai Disadeva Shobha. Who is that Panduranga? That is Krishna, who is coming in this 28 Yuga cycle. Yuge 28. 28वें युग में जो आते हैं, that is Krishna Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the original Lord who comes as it is. Otherwise, in all other Yuga cycle, in all other incarnations of Krishna which comes in Dwapara Yuga, he comes out of Vishnu. So we, born into this 28th Yuga cycle, Kali Yuga people are very, very fortunate because the Supreme Lord Krishna, the original Supreme Lord Krishna, from whom everything expands, he has personally appeared in this 28th Yuga cycle. And that's why we are very, very fortunate. And that same Krishna also further expanded as a Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is very, very merciful. And because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we have received this devotional service. We have received Krishna Bhakti. And that's why we should be eternally grateful to our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Supreme Lord Krishna. But this happens only in 28 Yuga cycle. Other Yuga cycle, the Mahavishnu who is leading everything, and from him there are different incarnations come. Similarly, Krishna also comes from that incarnation. So when I'm saying all this, there are two things are very important. The manifestation as an avatar and the manifestation as this phenomenal world, both the things are complete. That's very important. So when we say Om Purnamada Purnamidam, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyasya, when we are invoking this prayer, it is about the complete Lord Sri Krishna, whose expansion as avatars are complete and whose expansion as a phenomenal world is also complete because he is complete Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. So anybody has any question till now, whatever we discussed? I discussed on many other many different factors. So you may have some questions. You can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, once in a day of Brahma, I think in 7th Manvantara, 28th, in 7th Manvantara, in 1 Manvantara is 72 Chaturtha Yogas, Prabhuji. 28th, Lord Krishna will get manifested. Like Avatari will take the birth, and next Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come now, Prabhuji.
No, Prabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself has come as a Supreme Personal Godhead in this 28 Yuga cycle only. So when Avatari, that is Supreme Lord Krishna, when he comes, the same Krishna takes birth as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this particular Yuga cycle. And that's why this Yuga cycle, Kali Yuga people are fortunate. The fortune is explained like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who appeared 550 years before, 540 years before, is that Supreme Lord's expansion, Supreme Lord.
But Prabhuji, in remaining Kali Yuga, Prabhuji, like, okay, this particular in this Chaturtha, like whatever this 28th, this is there. Like 29th, Prabhuji, what about regarding 29th, Prabhuji, like in Dwapara Yuga and
Vishnu's expansion. Like we sing this Dashavatara prayer. In Dashavatara prayer, all these incarnations which are spoken, they are all expanding from Mahavishnu. So they are expansions of Mahavishnu, and there in that even Krishna is also there, who is also expansion of Mahavishnu. So in 20th, 28वें युग cycle जो है, in the 28th युग cycle, Krishna the original avatar, he is come, but other avatars are coming from Mahavishnu.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In this invocation mantra, we are talking about the completeness, and this completeness is both in quality and quantity, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
And then whenever we are talking about Supreme Lord, very good point you brought up. The quality and quantity, both things are complete. And that's why that is the difference when we are talking about, when we always talk about Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Achintya is inconceivable. And Bheda and Abheda. Bheda is, the difference, and Abheda is non-difference. So in the quality, there is non-difference. But in the quantity, there is a difference. So for the Jiva, there is a difference. But for Supreme Lord, the quality and quantity both are complete. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Naveen Gopal.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances unto your lotus feet.
Yes.
Prabhu, my question regarding to the same 28th Yuga cycle and 29. So if Krishna comes in 29th Yuga cycle, that will come down from Vishnu. So the
Yes.
people in general will consider that Krishna is complete or this 28th cycle one complete.
So that's why very specifically this particular thing is mentioned here. The original Krishna is complete and incarnation of Krishna are also complete. It is, that's why I said, now I give this example, there is a pond, and then from the pond you fetch out the buckets of water. When you are fetching the buckets of water, the pond is like vacant after some time. That is the case with something which is incomplete, something which is matter, something which is material. When it is about the Supreme Lord, even after so many incarnations come out of it, those incarnations are also complete. The Vishnu is a complete Supreme Personality. Or, the other avatars, though it is Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, anything, they are also complete. We cannot just compare them. And qualitatively, we discuss about Rupa Madhuri, the Venu Madhuri, Rasa Madhuri, when we talk about all that. So that time, we are just glorifying Krishna with those 4 qualities more. Like, it is said that Vishnu possesses 60 qualities, and Krishna possesses 64 qualities. So those qualities which are glorified, there are 4 which are very special things here in the form of Krishna. But that does not make Krishna and Vishnu different. That's very important. And that does not make the complete whole as incomplete or less or something is reduced. No. The Krishna is Supreme Personality is complete, and all the incarnations or the phenomenal world, both thing comes out of him is also complete. And that's the reason I was explaining about the Brahmanda and the whole structure. At the same time, I was talking about the avatars. Okay, bro?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thanks a lot.
Yes, Saurabh, bro?
Prabhuji, Brahmaji's age is 100 years.
Yeah.
And when 4 yugas completes, then I believe half day of Brahma completes, or 1 day.
I'm getting actually confused about the calculation. I'll have to go through the calculations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that is the only confusion. So, that many 100 years Brahmaji has to complete, and that will be 1 yuga cycle.
No. There is thousands of yuga cycle, which is the lifespan of a Brahma. That's what I'm saying. Exact lifespan of Brahma has multiple yuga cycles, and they're like thousands in number.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll go through the calculation and explain. Anybody knows here exact calculation? I'm forgetting some of them.
Prabhuji, once like 1 day of Brahma, 14 Manvantaras, Prabhuji. Like 7 Manvantaras, 7 Manvantaras. In 1 Manvantara, 72 cycle, Prabhuji. Like one.
Right. 1 Manvantara is 72 yuga cycle. Yes.
72 yuga cycle, Prabhuji. Like when we consider like it's many trillions of years of lifespan, Prabhuji. I heard from Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, Prabhuji. Like Maharaj has given very nice lecture in Tirupati, Prabhuji. Like
Yes.
that is only 1 second of like whatever that Brahma's life cycle is there now, Prabhuji. That is only 1 second of Mahavishnu, Prabhuji.
Yes. Right. And that's why in Brahma Vimohan Lila we see And when Brahmaji goes and come back, here the 1 year is completely over in this earthly planet. And it is just a moment where he's just going and coming back, seeing those, whether those cowherd boys and the cows and calves and everything is there or not. It is like 1 year on this planet is over. So that's why there is huge time span difference between earthly living entities and Brahmaji.
Prabhuji,
Yes, bro.
two more. Like from Mahavishnu, whether those three Vishnus are appearing or Mahavishnu is different.
Sorry, whether Mahavishnu?
From Mahavishnu, three Vishnus are appearing. Is it right?
Yes, Karno Daksha Vishnu, Garbha Daksha Vishnu, and Shiro Daksha Vishnu.
And what is the role of Garbhodaksha you said?
Garbha Daksha Vishnu is lying in a Garbha ocean in Brahmanda, and in that Brahmanda, water expansion happens through the Garbha Daksha Vishnu. From his navel, the lotus comes out. On the lotus, there is Brahmaji, and in that stem, Brahmaji, you must have heard in Bhagavatam that Brahmaji was confused what to do. He went down in the stream and he did not find anything, and then he heard the word tapa,
Yeah.
and then he did tapasya, and then further whole creation started after that.
So only for this Brahmanda?
No, this happens for all the Brahmandas, and there are different Brahmandas
Like
in
for,
different Brahmandas. But then
for other Brahmandas, there will be other Garbhodaksha Vishnu.
Yes. The same
Okay.
process is followed.
And Karnodaksha Vishnu, we will be sitting with all of us as a Paramatma.
No, Paramatma is Shirodaksha Vishnu.
Sorry, Shirodaksha. Yes,
Shirodaksha Vishnu is a Paramatma who is situated in every living entity's heart.
Yes. And so
And Karnodaksha
you
Vishnu
mentioned,
is from whose body multiple Brahmandas they come out. Inhale and exhale.
Yes, right. The manifestation is in avatar and one is in phenomenal world.
Yes.
So the phenomenal world is what?
Basically, the expansion of Krishna is a spiritual world and material world. So it is a whole disk.
Okay.
If you divide that disk into 4 quadrants, the 1/4 of that part, 1 quadrant of that is the material world, and 3/4 is the spiritual world. So when it is a phenomenal world, it is a spiritual plus material world, which is an expansion of Krishna, which is complete. It just cannot be told as, like this specific thing that, naiti or this whole material creation is false, which is the understanding, Advaita understanding. So that is what is injecting this particular thing, that the creation, the phenomenal world expansion is complete of Krishna.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, Nandan Kumar.
Krishna. You mentioned that initially from Krishna comes Balram, and then Balram, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudev.
Yes.
You mentioned that from there comes Mahavishnu. So that quadruple expansion from them collectively comes Mahavishnu, or how
Collectively.
with the 4 together?
Yeah, from the 4 quadruple expansion collectively, there is no specific mention from whom what comes, and that's why it is a collective thing.
Because Balram also known as Sankarshan as well.
Balramji's expansion is called as a Sankarshan. Balramji's, because Balramji holds 2 potencies, that is Sat potency and Chit potency, that is Sanatan potency and the knowledge potency. That is the expansion of Balramji, and that's why there are different responsibilities given to these 4 quadruple expansions: Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. So there you can understand that the expansions of Balramji that. So Balramji is also called as Sankarshan, or Balramji is Ananta Shesha. Balramji is that knowledgeable Adi Guru Chit potency. Okay, bro.
Okay, do we have any PPT for this?
Sorry?
Do we have any explainable PPT or something like this?
I was searching, I was looking for it. I could not get it. If I get it, I'll share. I'll share with you. I'll share with Saurabh. Saurabh, you can share with others.
Yes.
I have that tree diagram kind of thing is there.
Okay.
Yes, Abhishek, bro.
Prabhuji, like Leela Avatara will get happens, like Kshirodikashai will, like whatever that Leela Avatara will get happens now, like that will come from Kshirodikashai Vishnu, which Vishnu, Prabhuji?
About that, there is a explanation given that expansion comes from Vishnu, and that is mostly Mahavishnu. The avataras which comes out are from Mahavishnu. So I have not particularly heard that whether it's Leela avatars from Mahavishnu or Shaktavish avatar from this or that. But generally it is said that Mahavishnu's expansions are avatar of different avatars.
Just Leela avatars like Varaha, Narasimha, and
Yes,
all
yes.
these avatars. Even I
Uh,
have that confusion, Prabhuji. That's why I asked, like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
need to.
What I have heard is Mahavishnu, bro. Okay. Yes, Swarabam.
Prabhuji, is there any fixed schedule for incarnation of Sri Krishna personally on the Brahmanda?
That is 28 Yuga cycle project. 28, this currently which is going on, 28 Yuga cycle. That is a fixed schedule of Krishna as a supreme god. Like for Lord Ram as a supreme, who is from Saket Dham, Ayodhya, from the spiritual world. There is 24 Yuga cycle, it is mentioned for Lord Ram. That is also fixed. And now don't ask me about others, I don't know about, I know these two.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead. Can somebody read the purport?
Vishakru, can you share?
Yes, Prabhu. I will share. 1 minute, Prabhu. Let me open this.
I hope everybody is having a hard copy book with them.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Somebody can start reading that otherwise from book. Let I mean shares.
Okay, I'll start.
Yes.
The complete whole or the supreme absolute truth is the complete personality of Godhead. Realization of impersonal Brahman or of Paramatma, the Supersoul, is incomplete realization of the absolute complete. The supreme personality of Godhead is Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Realization of impersonal Brahman is realization of his Sat feature or his aspect of eternity, and Paramatma realization is realization of his Sat and Chit features, his aspects of eternity and knowledge. But realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all the transcendental features, Sat, Chit and Ananda, bliss. When one realizes the Supreme Person, he realizes these aspects of the Absolute Truth in their completeness. Vigraha means form. Thus, the complete whole is not formless. If he were formless or if he were less than his creation in any other way, he could not be complete. The complete whole must contain everything both within and beyond our experience, otherwise, he cannot be complete. The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immense potencies, all of which are as complete as he is. Thus, this phenomenal world is also complete in itself. The 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation are arranged to produce everything necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. No other unit in the universe need make an extraneous effort to try to maintain the universe. The universe functions on its own time scale, which is fixed by the energy of the complete whole. And when that schedule is completed, this temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the all facilities are given to the small complete units, namely the living beings, to enable them to realize the complete whole. All forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of the living being and is obtained after evolving through 84 lakh species of life in the cycle of birth and death. If in this human life of full consciousness the living entity does not realize his completeness in relation to the complete whole, he loses the chance to realize his completeness and is again put into the evolutionary cycle by the law of material nature. Because we do not know that there is a complete arrangement in nature for our maintenance, we make efforts to utilize the resources of nature to create a so-called complete life of sense enjoyment. Because the living entity cannot enjoy the life of the senses without being dovetailed with the complete whole, the misleading life of sense enjoyment is illusion. The hand of a body is a complete unit only as long as it is attached to the complete body. When the hand is severed from the body, it may appear like a hand, but it actually has none of the potencies of a hand. Similarly, living beings are part and parcel of the complete whole, and if they are severed from the complete whole, the illusory representation of completeness cannot fully satisfy them. The completeness of human life can be realized only when one engages in the service of the complete whole. All services in this world, whether social, political, communal, international, or even interplanetary, will remain incomplete until they are dovetailed with the complete whole. When everything is dovetailed with the complete whole, the attached parts and parcels also become complete in themselves. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. So here Prabhupada is talking about Vigraha. So Lord is also called the deity form of Krishna is called as Vigraha. Also the whenever the Supreme Personality Godhead's form is discussed, it is Satchidananda Vigraha, where we already discussed that Sat and Chit are the potencies, which are Sat is Sanatana, Chit is full of knowledge, and Ananda is full of bliss. So this Krishna is a Shaktiman, and then there is a Shakti. Krishna as a form as Shaktiman. His further expansion is Balaramji, and then Balaramji possesses Sat and Chit potency in the Satchidananda Vigraha, and the Ananda potency is with the Shakti of Krishna, that is with Ladini Shakti mainly, and that Ladini Shakti is Srimati Radharani, which is the expansion of Krishna. So when it comes to the Shakti also of Krishna, Shakti of Krishna is also complete. Also, so in this whole thing, we understand that we understand the completeness. Completeness is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is complete. All the avatars coming out of him is complete. This material world is complete. And also the living entities who are part of this material world are also complete. And that's why as we discuss about the form of Krishna being Satchidananda Vigraha, similarly, the form of living entity is also Satchidananda Vigraha. That they are also Sanatan, they are knowledgeable, and they can attain a bliss, full bliss. But here again there is a difference between Anu and Vibhu. Difference is that Anu is a small atom and Vibhu is like unlimited. But and by that only we understand that we are servants of Krishna. We are very, very insignificant, and Krishna is complete in itself. But when it is spoken about Jiva, as we hear from the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita in Sankhya, it's imperishable, it's immeasurable, and it is undestructible. So that's why this Jiva is also complete. It is not incomplete. So the material is complete, Jiva is complete, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is complete. That is the one thing which understand about the completeness. And when we understand about the personality, this particular verse, Om Purnamidam Purnamidam, though it is many times spoken by Advaitavadis also, and the Advaitavadis, they explain this as, the Brahman is complete, and, everything is one, they try to explain, but no, everything is not one. The forms are different, the material phenomenal world is different, the jivas are different. And by this, we understand that, it is said that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Avatari, and then from there are different Avataras which are coming out. Though Avataras are coming out, like, there's in the mathematical calculation, 1 plus 1 is 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0. But in the spiritual world calculation, or we are trying to understand this completeness of the word, 1 minus 1 is equal to 1, and 1 plus 1 is equal to 1. That's very interesting mathematical calculation of the spiritual world, where even if there are different incarnations, that is 1 minus 1 who are coming out of Krishna, still that completeness is there in that individual incarnation, avatar of Krishna, and the Supreme Lord also. Though it is so 1 minus 1 is 1, and even if it is 1 plus 1 addition, then also it is 1. There is no understanding. But then because of that, we understand Krishna is not formless. Like people say that Nirguna Nirakar, that he does not have any qualities and he does not have akar, any form. No, because there are different incarnations coming out of him, which is explained in Vedas. That means he is not formless. He has particular form. And another important thing, he has multiple energies, infinite energies, if you can say. There are infinite energies who are coming out of it, but still he is unchanged. As we discussed about the pond and the bucket, that he's like that, Purnasya Purnamadaya, that he's complete whole. And though everything is coming out of him, that which is also complete, still he remains complete himself. That's a very important understanding. Another important thing which we went through is a realization of Krishna in three features. This is something which is very important for all your understanding in Bhagavad Gita and Isopanisad. Please always, keep this in mind. There are three. The absolute truth has three features. That is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The Brahman is the effulgence which is coming out of the body of Lord. That is the Brahma Jyoti. And then there is Paramatma, as we discussed about the Shirodaksha Vishnu, which is situated in everybody's heart as Paramatma. That is the Paramatma feature. And then third is a Bhagavan feature, that is the complete realization of personality of Godhead. That, the complete realization of Satchidananda Vigraha. Vigraha is that, form, Bhagavan form. So that's very, very important to understand. That, personal form of Lord. And that's why it is Vigraha. When it said Satchidananda Vigraha, Vigraha is that personal form of the Lord. So which is full of knowledge, which is full of bliss, which is full, complete, eternal. Sat is eternal, Chit is knowledge, and bliss is Ananda. So that form of the Lord, which is eternal, which is full of knowledge, and which is full of bliss, that is Satchidananda Vigraha. So the realization of the absolute truth is into three features, that is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Okay. Another thing which is highlighted about this particular universe, that this temporary universe, which is inhale and exhale. That's why there is pralaya and mahapralaya which happens, and with the mahapralaya everything again goes into the body of Mahavishnu, Karnadaksha Vishnu, and then again it comes out. So in this it appears to be like a temporary, but then still it is complete. That whole creation of the Lord is complete. So in this temporary existence, the whole creation is destroyed and it again created. So when it is created with the 24 elements. In Sankhya Yoga, which is given by Kapila Muni. So Prabhupada, very often you will find Prabhupada in his lectures or in his books, he writes that there is atheist Sankhya, atheist Kapila, and there is Kapila Muni, who is a supreme incarnation of Supreme Lord. So atheist Kapila just spoke about these 24 elements, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead Kapila, who spoke to Devahuti Mata, he spoke about 26 elements, the 25th and 26th, that is Atma and Paramatma element. But then this whole material world is created with these 24 elements. 24 ghatak jo hote hai, 24 elements. So we should know those 24 elements also. Those 24 elements are 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas. The 5 jnanendriyas are eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And 5 karmendriyas are hands, legs, throat, genital, and rectum. These are 5 jnanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas. Then there is 5 sense object. That the 5 senses are there, so there are 5 sense objects: rasa, gandha, rupa. There are 2 more. Basically, it is taste. It is beautiful form. It is the gandha, the smell, and that is rasa, rupa, gandha. The taste, the smell, form. Which are the 2? Sparsha, touch, and one word is missing. So there are 5 sense objects, and then there are 5 Pancha Mahabhutas, that is Bhumira, Punarvayu, Kham, that is earth, water, fire, air, ether. So like this, there are 20 elements. And then the remaining 3 elements are Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar. And the 24th element, which is also called as a Pradhana, and then that Pradhan is a combination of 3 modes of material nature, 3 gunas, that is Togun, Rajagun, and Tamogun. It's a combination, that is a 24th element. So this whole material creation, which is made, which is expansion of Supreme Personal Godhead, which appears to be temporary, is made up of 24 elements. And in that, the 25th element is Atma and 26th element is Paramatma, which is complete Sankhya Yoga. So connection of the Atma and Paramatma is very, very important. And then complete Sankhya talks about it. But when it comes to the creation of the material world, which is made up of these 24 elements. Just to revise, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 5 sense object, Pancha Mahabhuta, Man, Buddhi, Ahankar, and Pradhana, that is Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, goodness, passion, ignorance combination. These are the 24 elements. So this whole creation, which is made up of 24 elements, every time everything is annihilated and everything is rearranged, that is a complete whole, or that is a complete world. The living entity, we already discussed what the living beings are complete, and this experience of completeness is very special. There is an experience of incompleteness also, and that is experienced in this material world. That is an experience, and that experience is because of the ignorance. That is because of not having a knowledge, complete knowledge, or the mode of ignorance is so rampant. Mode of ignorance is so overpowering a person, and that's why a person out of ignorance experiences the incompleteness, and then he is dissatisfied and he does not find everything complete. He does not accept the complete Supreme Personality Godhead. That is because of the ignorance. And there is illusion which is created by Maya, the external potency of Krishna. And that's why Jiva cannot enjoy the life with the complete whole and with the Supreme Lord. And because of that, he's misled for a material sense enjoyment, which is again an illusion, which does not give him a pleasure. And that's why he finds the whole existence incomplete. That's why he finds the whole existence as not the experience as very blissful. And that's why he's experiencing incompleteness in this world. So because of ignorance, because of the illusion which is created, or because of considering oneself, considering this body as all in all, and not giving importance, basically because of the lack of knowledge of Athato Brahma Jigyasa, and because of that, the living entity experiences incompleteness. That is also a very important factor to be understood. Okay, so here we complete the invocation prayers, the complete Lord. Any question on this discussion on the first invocation mantra?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
I have a doubt. I don't know whether it is related to this. So I heard that Gautama Buddha is different from the Buddha which comes from Krishna, like the avatar of Krishna. So is it different as stated in Bhagavatam?
I
Well,
actually, sorry, I have never studied about Gautam Buddha much, but Buddha is the incarnation of Supreme Lord, and which is shown as Gautama. But then, understanding whatever history I know, a little bit of Gautama, he went through a distress, and then out of those distress or whatever, seeing the situation in the world, he decided to renounce and all. So, not very sure about Gautama Buddha, and maybe I'll
okay.
inquire and come back.
Hare Krishna.
Anything else? Yes, bro. Naveen Gopal.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, there is one question. Why Shabda Praman is a superior means of acquiring knowledge?
Okay. So first of all, as I was mentioning about the knowledge which is coming from the Supreme Lord is complete. So from this particular invocation mantra, we understand that the knowledge which is coming from Supreme Lord is complete, because it is the expansion of Krishna. On Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, when we are saying, it is the expansion of Krishna. It's that knowledge also. So whatever is coming out of knowledge, it is, we just accept that as a Shruti. Just keep the Smrutis aside for some time. Just accept Shruti. The Vedas are the Shrutis, Upanishads are those Shruti, Gita Upanishad is a part of it. So that whole Shrutis, the main goal of Shruti is to explain that Krishna is the Supreme Personality Godhead. Vedesha Sarver Aham Eva Vedya. The conclusion of Veda is to know Supreme Lord. So knowledge which is coming out of the Supreme Lord is complete. Now that knowledge was given to someone who is not from this mortal world, who is struggling with his senses, or who is troubled by the anarthas, who is still on the platform of anartha nivritti, they are also very elevated personalities who received that knowledge. And that knowledge has come into the parampara, that complete knowledge which has come into the parampara. Now, when we are saying which has come into the parampara is not some random person who is studying some book and just narrating on it. That person is realized. Like, when we study about the qualities of Guru, one of the very important qualities of Guru is he has realized Krishna and he can awaken Krishna into the heart of others, awaken Krishna Prem into the heart of others. That is one of the very important quality of a Guru. And for that, he has to go through Vacho Vegam, Sakrodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Dharupastha Vegam. After controlling all these 6 Vegas, then he's qualified to be a spiritual master. That means he is a realized soul. He's not anybody who is just struggling with. He's a sadhaka. He's struggling with. He's not a karmi or a sadhaka. He's personal person who is realized. So a realized person who has heard from the realized person, and ultimately it goes to Brahma, Lakshmi, Shiva, or Chatushkumara, who have directly heard from Supreme Personal God. That's why this particular thing is very important. Now, when we are talking about this realized person, these realized people, they are not, coming into the category of 4 defects. That's also it. They are not illusioned. They don't have a cheating propensity. Their external senses are imperfect, but internally they are very perfect because of the receiving this perfect knowledge. So they are not coming under the 4 defects. And that's why Shabda Brahman stays away from 4 defects. Because of these 4 defects, because of the imperfect senses, because of tendency to commit mistake, because of cheating propensity, because of illusion, the Pratyakshan Anuman becomes incomplete. That's not complete way of accepting the mind. But then Shabda Brahman becomes complete because it has directly come from Krishna and it is coming through the self-realized souls. It is not coming through any person who is struggling with their anarthas. Srila Prabhupada was that self-realized soul who has, who were sent by Krishna, and then his spiritual master, and then his spiritual master. And that's why many times this kind of paramparas are very much appreciated than the seminal parampara. There are some seminal lineage. In that, there is the father is Guru, and then his father is Guru, and his father Guru. Sometimes there may be somebody in between, or the current people who are struggling with their own arthas, and they become a Guru. And that's why the seminal line is not accepted. And that's why Prabhupada, you will find sometimes saying about Advaita Parivar or Nityananda Parivar, he's criticizing them. They're not actually on the right, sometime on the right path. But then when the lineage of a self-realized people are there, they are free from 4 defects. Another important thing, they are realized soul, they have heard from the realized soul, and ultimately it is coming from Krishna, the complete way. Okay, Prabhu? Is that answers the question?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thanks a lot.
Prabhuji, in purport, Prabhupada has written one more line about this question, that another name for Shabda Pramana is Shruti. Shruti means that this knowledge has to be received simply by oral reception. We don't have to make an experiment to understand it because it is received from authoritative sources. That is why it is considered as superior, because we don't have to make an experiment to understand it.
Yes, that's very important. Still, coming from an intellectual background, we have a difficulty accepting it as it is. And that's why, sometimes Prabhupada says this also, that, you go to a laboratory and perform experiment. But then before that, you have to know the theory and have to have faith on that theory. If you don't have faith on that theory, if you don't have faith on Shruti, that is Shabda, you cannot actually perform that. So when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, why are we able to continue practicing Krishna consciousness? Because that Shraddha we had on the sadhu's words, that Shraddha we had on the scriptures, we accepted. After accepting, we practiced it. And after practicing, we received the result. You go to a laboratory, perform experiment, and then when you receive that result which is mentioned in the theory, you have more faith on that particular thing. Your Shraddha becomes Druda Shraddha. But that initial faith is very, very important. When we have that initial faith, and we do put, like Prabhupada several times when it comes to Shraddha, Prabhupada explains it, that we are putting faith on a driver, the train driver or the aeroplane driver, the pilots, or we put faith on the barber, and barber may cut our throat, but then we are just going and lying there, and he's putting that cloth and he's shaving or cutting our. We put faith on him. So there are so many things in the world we put faith. Why not on the Shabda Shruti, which is directly coming from Krishna? That's very important. And after putting faith on those words, that is Shabda Praman, Shruti, we will be able to practice, and after practicing, we get convinced of that particular shabda more. So very true, Swarabrahma true. We don't have to go through the experiment to prove it. We have to have faith, and that is Shruti, which is directly coming from Supreme Lord. Okay. So we'll go for the first verse now of the Isopanisad out of 18. This particular verse is accept only your quota, Ishavasvidam Sarva. So when we are start knowing about when we are trying to understand the Sri Isopanisad at glance, these first three verses, including the invocation prayer, this is explaining us about the living in harmony with God. So this particular verse is very, very important for a person. Like there is in Bhagavatam, it says the yogi is always satisfied. Santushtam satatam yogi. The yogi is always satisfied. How that yogi can be always satisfied? How being a devotee in Krishna consciousness, practicing devotional service can be satisfied? Or how whoever is practicing yoga, yoga means connection with the Supreme Lord, is satisfied? Is very nicely explained in this verse. And after that, when we say there is the Shanti Sutra. Anybody knows the Shanti Sutra from Bhagavad Gita? The peace formula? So it is, please remember this peace formula. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, so Shanti Sutra is Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Surudham Sarva Bhutanam Yatva Mam Shantin Mushati. So one who knows about me, these three qualities, one who knows about these three qualities, Shanti Mrushati, he can attain peace. So in this world also somebody can be peaceful. They don't have to look for the peace or search for the peace, go around recreating, finding out for the peace. In this world also we can find the peace if we know these three things. One is Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam. Whatever yajnas we are performing, whatever karma we are performing, the result should be offered to God because He is the real Bhokta. He is the real enjoyer. So Krishna is the enjoyer. That is the first quality, first principle. Second is Bhoktaram Ekatha Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Now we very casually say Sari Bhumi Gopal ki, but then we hold on to 1 acre, 2 acre, 1 gunta, 2 gunta, and so many things. And we put our names on it. No, Sari Bhumi Gopal ki, when you say it belongs to Krishna. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. We just discussed about the 14 planets. And like that, there are lakhs of Brahmanda. Everything belongs to Krishna. So when we know that nothing is possessed by me, everything is possessed by Krishna, everything is owned by Krishna, we are actually satisfied and peaceful. So Bhoktanam Yajnatapasam, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. And third principle is Surudham Sarva Bhutanam. The third very special divine quality of Lord is He is the ever well-wisher of all the living entities. Surudham. He is very close to every heart. In the heart, there is Atma and there is Paramatma. The Paramatma is always next to you. And he is just not next to you. He is performing his act. He is what? Upadrushta, Anumanta, Bharta Bhokta, he is Palan Karta, he is offering, he is giving everything, he is giving Anumati, he is observing you. That Supreme Lord is always close to you and he is Surudham. That when we have mother, father, or some well-wishers around us, we feel very peaceful. And that most important well-wisher who is always in any body, any part, everywhere, is that Supreme Lord Krishna. So Surudham Sarva Bhutanam Gyatva Mam Shanti Murshati. One who knows about this, about me, attains peace. So this verse is also in the same connection. If you know about what is mine and what is others and what is Krishna's, we can actually remain satisfied and peaceful. So we being a Krishna conscious yogi, we being bhakti yogi, we should focus on this. Accept only which is in our quota. We don't have to encroach on others' quota. That's very important. So let's recite this verse. Abhishek, we are putting it on the screen.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm sure.
Ishavasham idam. You all can recite actually. It's nice. Ishavasham idam sarvam.
Ishavashyam idam sarvam.
Yat kinchit jagatam jagat.
Yatkincham jagatyam jagat.
Tena taptena bhunjita.
Tena taktena bunjita.
Ma grudha kasya swidhanam.
Ma Vridha Kasya Svidhanam.
So please by heart these verses. The first and I think these two verses are for your recitation or for your exam shloka test. Please do remember Ishavashidam Sarvam Yat Kinchit Jagatam Jagat Tena Taptena Bhunjita Magrid Magrid Kasyasvit Dhanam. So this particular principle of Isha Vasya is very important. Isha in this word is by the Lord. Avasya is control. So Isha Vasya means everything is controlled by the Supreme Lord. So in this whole creation and in this complete creation, everything is controlled by Supreme Lord. Sarva, for the all Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam, Sarva Lokam Maheshwaram. By this we understand that everything is owned by Krishna, everything is controlled by Krishna. Krishna is that real enjoyer, Krishna is the real proprietor, and Krishna is the well-wisher. That's very important. So here also it is said, Isha Vasya principle. This particular principle is called the Isha Vasya principle, that everything is controlled by Supreme Lord. Let's go through the translation. Everything animates and inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things which are necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. So this particular principle was a part of our Vedic culture. In our Vedic culture, if some money is fallen, people will not go and touch that money. People will not think that this is mine, and that's why we know that Chanakya Pandit he writes a very important principle. He says for all the human beings to follow, and as a Vedic culture, so it is a part of Vedic culture. Matravat paradvareshu, loshtavat paradraveshu. Considering every woman to be a mother, matravat paradvareshu, that every woman is to be considered as mother. And loshtravat paradraveshu, paradravya, किसी दूसरे का अगर द्रव्य है, if somebody something which does not belong to us, it should be considered as dust. It should be considered like garbage. One should not pounce on it. That's very important. So similarly, here also, it is said one should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota. So according to one's papa and punya, his quota is kept. Quota of dukkha, quota of sukha, quota of enjoyment, quota of suffering, quota of aishwarya, and quota of whatever not ours. That quota is already fixed, which is kept for you, which are set aside as our quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. So we surely know that it does not belong to me, it belongs to someone. And many times we know that to whom it belongs. So one should not jump on it. One should not pounce on it. One should not be greedy for it. Why? Because everything, animates and inanimates, that is within this universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. Sari Bhumi Gopal ki, everything belongs to Krishna. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Krishna is the owner of everything. And that's why a devotee, for him it is very, very clear. He is detached. If somebody is practicing devotional service, Vairagya is developed in the heart. And the Vairagya is developed, the Vairagya and knowledge, which are the son of Bhakti. Bhakti Mata, she has two sons, that is Vairagya and Jnana, that is renunciation and knowledge. These are the sons of Bhakti Devi. So as we go intensifying our devotional service, we surely have this Vairagya, the renunciation. And the very important factor of renunciation is nothing belongs to me. Everything is owned and controlled by the Supreme Lord. That's very, very important. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Bhoktaram Yakritosam. You should always remember this. That Krishna is the real enjoyer. He is owning everything and everything is controlled by the Lord. Isha Vasya. That Avasya is controlled. That particular Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, is controlling everything. And because he is controlling everything, he has given some quota to me. In his control system, he has given some quota. I'll just enjoy that quota. I'll not try to go here and there. And that, in fact, the Santushtam Satatam Yogi, as I was saying in the beginning, the satisfied yogi, satisfied practitioner of yoga, especially of Bhakti Yoga, he does not hanker for or lament for anything. He is neither hankering, neither lamenting. And that's why you see in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna asked this question, Krishna is talking about, a very self-realized yogi, that is Sthita Pragya. And when Krishna is talking about Sthita Pragya devotee, Arjuna is very inquisitive. Sthita Pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya Keshava. Hey Keshava, please explain me what is the language of Sthita Pragya. Hey Keshava, please tell me how the Sthita Pragya sits, how he walks, how he talks. He's very eager to know about it. And then very immediately Krishna says, Dukkheshu anidviganamana sukheshu vigata spruha vita raga bhaya krodha Sthita dhirmuni ruchare. He said that Sthita dhirmuni is the one who is free from attachment, raga, bhaya, that is, fear, and krodha, anger. And that, that Sthita Pragya is free from dualities also. When there is happiness, he is not overexcited. Sukheshu vigata spruha, he is not overexcited. Neither when there is a misery, there is suffering. Dukkheshu anidvignamana, his mind is not udvigna. Why? Because his way is equipoised. He is free from dualities. And that person who is free from dualities, who is equipoised, that person is also free from raga, that is attachment, bhaya, that is fear, and krodha, that is anger. So one who is free from fear, attachment, and krodha, and one who is free from the dualities, is that Sthita Pragya devotees. So similarly, here also Krishna is talking about this, that in this world there is animate and inanimate, there is chala and achala. When there is animate and animated things, everything is controlled. Whether it's chala or achala, whether it's moving or non-moving, everything is controlled by Krishna and it is owned by Krishna. Knowing this principle of Ishavasya principle, one should accept only what is in his quota and one should not get into others' quota, knowing whom it belongs to. One should not get into other things. Okay, let's go to the purport.
Prabhuji, can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Vedic knowledge is infallible because it comes down through the perfect disciplic succession of spiritual masters, beginning with the Lord Himself, since He spoke the first word of Vedic knowledge. The source of this knowledge is transcendental. The words spoken by the Lord are called Apurusheya, which indicates that they are not delivered by any mundane person. A living being who lives in the mundane world has four defects. He is certain to commit mistakes. He is subject to illusion. He has a propensity to cheat others. His senses are imperfect. No one with this for imperfection can deliver perfect knowledge. The Vedas are not produced by such an imperfect creature. Vedic knowledge was originally imparted by the Lord into the heart of Brahma, the first created living being, and Brahma in his turn disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples and who have handed it down through history. Since the Lord is Purnam, all perfect, there is no possibility of his being subjected to the laws of material nature, which he controls. However, both the living entities and inanimate objects are controlled by the laws of nature and ultimately by the Lord's potency. This Isopanisad is the part of the Yajurveda, and consequently it contains information concerning the proprietorship of all things existing within the universe. The Lord's proprietorship over everything within the universe is confirmed in the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 7.4 and 5, where para and apara prakriti are discussed. The elements of nature, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego, all belongs to the Lord's inferior material energy, apara prakriti, whereas the living being, the organic energy, is his superior energy, para prakriti. Both of these prakritis or energies are emanations from the Lord, and ultimately he is the controller of everything that exists. There is nothing in the universe that does not belong to either the para or the apara prakriti. Therefore, everything is the property of the Supreme Being. Because the Supreme Being, the absolute personality of Godhead, is the complete person. He has complete perfect intelligence to adjust everything by means of his different potencies. The Supreme Being is often compared to a fire, and everything organic and inorganic is compared to the heat and the light of the fire. Just the fire distributes the energy from the heat and the light. The Lord displays his energy in different ways. He thus remains the ultimate controller, sustainer, and the dictator of everything. He is the possessor of all potencies, the knower of everything, and the beneficator of everyone. He is He is full of inconceivable opulence, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that except for the Lord, no one is the proprietor of anything. One should accept only those things that are set aside by the Lord as his quota. The cow, for instance, gives milk, but she does not drink that milk. She eats grass and straw, and her milk is designated as food for human beings. Such is the arrangement of the Lord. Thus, we should satisfy with those things He has kindly set aside for us, and we should always consider to whom those things we possess actually belong. Take, for example, our dwelling, which is made of earth, wood, stone, iron, cement, and so many other material things. If we think in terms of Sri Isopanisad, we must know we cannot produce any of these building materials ourselves. We can simply bring them together and transform them into the different shape by our labor. A laborer cannot claim to be a proprietor of a thing just because he was worked hard to manufacture it. In the modern society, there is always a great quarrel between the laborers and the capitalists. The quarrel has taken an international shape, and the world is in danger. Men face one another in enmity and snarl just like cats and dogs. Sri Ishopanishad cannot give advice to the cats and dogs, but it can deliver the message of the Godhead to men through the bona fide acharyas. The human race should take the Vedic wisdom of Sri Ishopanishad and not quarrel over the material possessions. One must be satisfied with whatever privileges are given him mercy by the mercy of the Lord. Therefore, can be no peace if the communist or capitalist or any other party claims proprietorship over the resources of nature, which are entirely the property of the Lord. The capitalist cannot curb the communist simply by political maneuvering, nor can the communist defeats the capitalist simply by fighting for the stolen bread. If they do not recognize the proprietorship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the property they claim to be their own is stolen. Consequently, they will be liable to punishment by the laws of nature. Nuclear bombs are in the hands of both communists and capitalists. And if the both do not recognize the proprietorship of the Supreme Lord, it is certain that these bombs will ultimately ruin both parties. Thus, in order to save themselves and bring peace to the world, both parties must follow the instructions of Sri Ishopanishad.
Okay,
Human,
we'll continue again. So, what we discussed till now, just try to summarize. So, we understand that this Vedic knowledge, it's a very glorious Vedic knowledge. Prabhupada is talking about the parampara here again. There's like where Prabhu asked this question that why only Shabda Brahman. So Prabhupada is answering this here, saying that because the person This is a knowledge which is coming from Apaurushaya. We saw in the beginning also the Vedas coming from Apaurushaya, which is without four defects. A person who is without four defects. A person with the four defects cannot impart this knowledge, but the person without four defects can impart. And especially that Supreme Personal Godhead, who is without four defects, who has imparted this particular knowledge. And this is coming further into the pure parampara. And then there is Brahmaji, and then the sons of Brahma or the disciples of Brahma who received, and then further this knowledge was given in a disciplic succession. And because of this perfect Guru Shishya disciplic succession, this Vedic knowledge is very glorious. Further, the supreme proprietor of everything is explained. This is the main part of this particular verse, that whatever is chala achala, what is moving, non-moving, animated, inanimated, everything is controlled and owned by the Lord. And that's why this is very important to understand. The supreme proprietor of everything is Krishna. And this Krishna who has two energies, one is Parashakti and another is Aparashakti. So Aparashakti is the inferior energy, the material energy, which is like earth, water, fire, air, ether, and mind, intelligence, and ego, which is made up of these elements. That is Apara Prakriti. And then there is Para Prakriti, which is superior energy, the Jiva Tattva or living entity, are Para Tattva. And this Para Shakti and Apara Shakti, they are also owned and controlled by God. So we should never think ourselves, being the independent, the citizens of the independent nation of India. We also have this tendency of being independent, and we do take many independent decisions, and we independently choose something or own something or think that I'm the proprietor, I'm the enjoyer, I'm the controller. And that's why, that because of this tendency of becoming Krishna, drags us to understand that I'm an independent person. No, we are dependent, we are controlled, we are owned by the Supreme Lord Krishna. That's very important. So everything in this universe is a combination of Para and Apara Shakti, the matter and the spirit. It's a combination of both, and therefore everything is the property of the Supreme Being. And that's why Prabhupada is multiple times speaking here that one should not consider himself the proprietor, and then Prabhupada is telling about the communist and capitalist who claim themselves as the proprietor, and they are claiming every resource which is from this material nature belongs to them. They are the proprietor, and that's completely wrong. One should not consider himself proprietor. Like one of the anecdote from Prabhupada. Prabhupada was walking on a Juhu beach, and there's this famous morning walk of Prabhupada with that's the gentleman. I forget his name. He's an Indian man. And one day he was coming from Advaita understanding. He was coming from Mayavad understanding. And he would many times put Mayavadi arguments in front of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada would really get angry on him. What is this nonsense? So one day they were discussing that, I am also God and I own everything. And Prabhupada said, what is your business? He said, I have a glass business. And then Prabhupada said, where is this glass comes from? They said, Swamiji, the glass comes from the sand on the ocean. Where is this sand coming from? Sand belongs to ocean. Where is the ocean from? Who is the owner of the ocean? And that is Brahman. That is absolute truth. That is Paramasatya. He said, yes. Prabhupada said, you are a thief. Prabhupada was, gentleman. That gentleman was like a friend to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, you are a thief. Tum chor ho. That is a Hindi morning walk. You can hear some. Tum chor ho. So he was like taken aback. Swamiji, why are you calling me chor? Thief. He said, like, tum chor ho. This sand is owned by Krishna. The ocean is owned by Krishna. And everything is owned by Krishna. And then you are stealing the sand of Krishna and making glass. You are a thief, Prabhupada said. So it's very important to understand that everything is coming out of Krishna. Nothing is owned by us. And that's why this Para and Apara Prakriti is a combination. That's the energy of Krishna. It is coming from Krishna, and that's owned by Krishna. So this capitalist understanding or this communist understanding is that they are supreme or they own everything is completely wrong. Then Prabhupada further talks about Lord is a Purnam. He is complete and he is perfect. And that's why there is no, because he is a complete and perfect, there is no possibility of Lord coming under the laws of material nature. The living entity comes under the laws of material nature, but the Supreme Lord does not come under the laws of material nature. The Supreme Lord is the possessor of the potencies and knower of everything. He is full of inconceivable opulences, power, frame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. So Bhagavan, Bhaga, and Vana. The Bhagavan, what is the Sandhi Vigraha can be, Sandhi Vichhed can be Bhagavan. The Bhaga means Aishwarya, Vana means possess. Like we say, na, Dhanavan or Shaktivan or Vidyavan, one who possesses Vidya, one who possesses strength. Similarly, Bhaga means Aishwarya, one who possesses Aishwaryas. So there are six opulences. Aishwarasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasya. In that it is explained there are six opulences. That is power, fame, beauty, knowledge, renunciation, strength. Uh, so there are these six opulences, and one who possesses these six opulences in complete is Bhagavan. And the Supreme Lord is who is the proprietor. He's like a fire, and everything organic and inorganic is like the heat and the light of that fire. That is also explained by Prabhupada. And he is thus the ultimate controller, sustainer, and the dictator of everything. He is the ultimate controller, he is the sustainer, and he is the dictator of everything. So a living entity should not claim himself a Supreme Lord. He should see that there is a Supreme Lord, Krishna, who is owner of everything, who is controlling everything. And that's why Jiva should not try to become a Ishvara, and the Jiva is in ignorance, and he should come out of this ignorance, and he should offer everything. He should spiritualize everything. That's very important. Like, some of our devotees, they have a habit. When they get new clothes, they put in front of Lord. That, Lord, this does not belong to me. So they are spiritualized. We are eating every day. But what we are eating, only Krishna Prasad. So whatever is going out of this throat, going below this throat, I'm going to offer it to Krishna. It should be offered to Krishna. It belongs to Krishna. And then we spiritualize that food. So we are not just vegetarian. We are Krishnatarian. Why Krishnatarian? Because we take food which is offered to Krishna. So everything, whatever we are using as given by Lord, that is spiritualized. That's very important. So when it is said that, your quota is set aside, only that much you take. Who has set aside that quota? Krishna. We accept that quota. But while accepting that quota, we are offering it back to Krishna. You go to Ganges, and then you take a water from the Ganges, and then you offer that water to Ganges. What we are doing? Tera tujhko arpan. We are just offering whatever belongs to you. We are just offering it to, back to Ganges. Similarly, nothing belongs to us. But still, God has given something to us. We are utilizing that for maintaining our body and soul together. And while utilizing that, we are spiritualizing it. So spiritualizing that matter is also very, very important. So the teachings of Isopanisad, thus, in the order to save themselves and bring peace to the world, both the parties must follow the instruction of Sri Isopanisad. So whatever wars are going on now because of ego, because of desire to encroach somebody's property, or because of not understanding their own quota of whatever petrol, diesel, gas, whatever, the world, the cities and countries are fighting with each other. You have to set aside, and if both the parties understand, there will be a lot of peace in this world. So this principle of Ishavasya should be taught to everyone. Yes, somebody else can continue the reading. Jaideep, you would like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Continue.
Yeah.
Nice to see.
Human beings are not meant to quarrel like cats and dogs. They must be intelligent enough to realize the importance and aim of human life. The Vedic literature is meant for humanity and not for cats and dogs. Cats and dogs can kill other animals for food without incurring a sin. But if a man kills an animal for the satisfaction of his uncontrolled taste buds, he is responsible for breaking the laws of nature. Consequently, he must be punished. The standard of life for human beings cannot be applied to animals. The tiger does not eat rice and wheat or drink cow's milk because he has been given food in the shape of animal flesh. Among the many animals and birds, some are vegetarian and others are carnivorous, but none of them transgress the laws of nature, which have been ordained by the will of the Lord. Animals, birds, reptiles, and other lower life forms strictly adhere to the laws of nature. Therefore, there is no question of sin for them, nor are the Vedic instructions meant for them. Human life alone is a life of responsibilities. It is wrong, however, to think that simply by becoming the vegetarian one can avoid transgressing the laws of nature. Vegetables also have life, and while it is nature's law that one living being is meant to feed on other, for human beings the point is to recognize the supreme law. Thus, one should not be proud of being a strict vegetarian. Animals do not have developed consciousness by which to recognize the Lord, but a human being is sufficiently intelligent to know lessons from the Vedic literatures and thereby know how the laws of nature are working and derive profit out of such knowledge. If a man neglects the instructions of the Vedic literature, his life becomes very risky. A human being is therefore required to recognize the authority of the Supreme Lord and become his devotees. He must offer everything for the Lord's service and partake only of the remnants of food offered to the Lord. This will enable him to discharge his duties properly. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.26, the Lord directly states that he accepts vegetarian foods from the hands of the pure devotees. Therefore, a human being should not only become a strict vegetarian but should also become a devotee of the Lord, offer the Lord all the food, and then partake of such prasadam or the mercy of the God. Only those who act in this way can properly discharge the duties of human life. Those who do not offer their food to the Lord eat nothing but sin and subject themselves to various types of distress which are the results of sin. Bhagavad Gita 3.13. The root of sin is deliberate disobedient for the laws of nature through disregarding the proprietorship of the Lord. Disobeying the law of nature or the order of the Lord brings runs to the human being. Conversely, one who is sober, who knows the law of nature, and who is not influenced by the unnecessary attachment of the aversion is sure to be recognized by the Lord and thus become eligible to go back to Godhead, back to the eternal home. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here Prabhupada is beginning with the animals and humans, the difference between animals and humans versus animal, and a human being can have a developed consciousness and intelligence, and that's why they can understand Vedas. And it's not like a cats and dogs, and the Vedic literatures are meant for the humanity, and they should take it very seriously. That's very, very important. It is nature's law that one living entity is like a feed to another, and that's why even if the animals, like Prabhupada is talking about example of a tiger killing an animal, the tiger will not get the sin for killing that animal. But then if a human being does that, he's sure to get the sin for that. And that's why humans should not eat meat, or humans should not uh, encroach or kill some animals. That's very bad. And simply becoming vegetarian is also not correct. One should accept prasad. That's very important factor Prabhupada has explained. Prasad is the word. I always say prasad means Prabhu ka sakshat darshan prasad, which is simply nothing but the Krishna's beautiful darshan. Krishna also talks about prasad in Bhagavad Gita. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani rastu pajayate prasanna chetana. So that if somebody is accepting prasad, prasad is also known as mercy of Krishna. And if somebody accepts the mercy of Krishna, prasade sarva dukkhanam hani rastu pajayate. All the miseries in his life will be completely eradicated. Prasanna chetana, so he will attend prasanna chetana and he will free from miseries. So this is very important that accepting Krishna Prasad, which is nothing but the mercy of Lord, And because of accepting Krishna Prasad, the food offered to Krishna, we will be completely free from sin. And that's further Prabhupada says that the root of the sin is very important to know, that the deliberate disobedience of the laws of nature by disregarding and the proprietaries of the Lord, humanity is ruined by such a neglect when Vedic instructions, which are order of Lord. So there are laws of nature. We should obey to all the laws of nature because they're coming from Krishna. Krishna is the proprietor of this Prakriti, or the owner of everything. So we have to accept the proprietorship of Krishna. And if we don't enter into somebody's house, we don't encroach into somebody's business, we don't encroach into anything because they are proprietor. So similarly, Krishna is proprietor of everything. Why should we encroach into Krishna's property? Everything belongs to Krishna. We are servant of Krishna. When we are servant of, we are being a servant. Like I give this example very often, right? Ambani, the richest person in Asia, is like, he's having a driver. And then Ambani sits in the truck car and, there's a very special car which is arranged for him. And then he says, oh, take me to this particular corner of Mumbai. And then they travel. And then he says, oh, play some music while traveling. And then put on the AC, put on the air freshener, these are so many facilities which are in the car. And then this driver got to know about all the facilities, and the driver said, oh, let me enjoy separately from Ambani. And then, he goes to the family and tells that, let's go to Lonavala and we'll have some fun. And then everybody sits in the car and then they take, without informing Ambani, they take the car. What will happen? Before they reach to Lonavala, police is waiting for them. And they'll be behind the bars. And then they'll get heavy beatings and these and that. So much will happen to them. This is what exactly happening to us in this material world. We are thinking, I am the owner, I am the proprietor, and we are trying to enjoy. When we are trying to enjoy, we are getting beatings from Maya, who is the jailer of this material world. So what we have to do, we have to announce to the whole world, we have to tell ourselves that I am not the proprietor. Everything belongs to Krishna. So whatever I am going to enjoy, let me offer it to Krishna. So what is happening? This driver of Ambani, when he was with Ambani, he was enjoying all the facilities. So when being servant of Krishna, we can enjoy a lot. But being independent from Krishna, we will not be able to enjoy, we will just suffer. So sense gratification always leads to misery because it is for gratifying one's own senses. But gratifying Krishna's senses, doing it for the pleasure of Krishna, acting as a servant of Krishna, will give a lot of bliss and pleasure to us. So being servant of Krishna, we get a lot of facilities to enjoy. And being servant, we understand that it belongs to Krishna, nothing belongs to me. Whatever Krishna has awarded to me, I will enjoy as per the desire of Krishna, not independent of Krishna. So Ishavasham idam sarvam yat kinchit jagata jagat tena tattvena punjita megrit Krishna magrit kasya svid dhanam. That everything, animates and inanimates, is controlled and owned by Krishna. And for everyone, there is a quota set aside. One should take only whatever is in his quota and not accept anything which belongs to somebody else. That is the understanding of this particular shloka. Thank you very much. Any question?
Prabhuji, like while we are earning, Prabhuji, like how we have to, how we need to exhibit the Yukta Vairagya, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji, whatever we are earning, we are doing, like we are, but sometimes we will feel that that's not Yukta Vairagya, Prabhuji. Like in that case, Prabhuji, how we,
That's why it is very important to regularly serve the Vaishnavas, offer donation to the temple. In Marathi, it is said that पोटाला चिमटा काढून आपण काहीतरी करायचं. In the sense that one has to pinch. One should feel the pinch. Whatever he has earned, when he is offering a donation in the temple, there is a pinch. He feels that, or he's calling Vaishnavas at home, he's organizing a program, he's spending for it, and he's getting a lot of happiness doing that. But at the same time, he has to spend money, he has to spend his own energy, he has to give a lot of time of his own. So when you are doing that activity, so there is a pinch. We should voluntarily accept some tapasya, go to dham, perform tapasya, chant the rounds, by which the purification will happen. So everything, Yukta Vairagya means what? That that renunciation is there. Of what? That it does not, this particular car, this particular money, this particular bungalow, this particular property is not mine. It is Krishna's. I will use it in Krishna's service. So if Krishna has given me this particular facility, I will use it. Like, there is in ISKCON Chopati temple, there is Krishna Chandra. Krishna Chandrapur is the owner of Mafatlal industry. It's almost like 12,000 crore property. 1200, 12,000. I'm not exactly knowing, but it's a huge property he possesses. So somebody will say, "Oh, Prabhu, you should have a simple living. You should wear a Hawaii chappal, Hawaii slippers, and you should have some simple white kurta and simple dhoti, and that is how you should walk." No, that won't work in his profession. And what is he doing with that money? He's giving that money regularly to temple. He's calling Vaishnavas, organizing events, contributing for so many occasions and so many places, by which he's telling to the whole thing that I am, whatever is my quota, I'm enjoying. The rest of the things I'm giving it to Krishna. Or everything belongs to Krishna. I'm engaging everything in Krishna's service. Whatever Krishna is giving, I will enjoy. And that's why the immediate action we performed is regularly giving donations to temple and calling Vaishnavas, inviting them to program, organizing events, whatever is our capacity, we should get into the service. Okay. Yes, Vijay.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु
अभी चाहिए आपको मुझे यहाँ पे सुदानंद प्रभु अपने बच्चे
हरे कृष्ण
Somebody else is asking question.
yes Prabhu. How to know how much is set aside for me?
How to know how much is aside? That is taught in nectar of instruction, where it is very clearly said whatever we earn, 50% should be engaged in Krishna service. So 50% belongs to us, 50% should be engaged in Krishna service. By that we can understand. So whatever is our property, 50% belongs to Krishna. Whatever is earned, whatever we are earning. So it is difficult, and that's why when Abhishek Bro asked this question of how do we actually utilize this Yukta Vairagya principle? If you really wanting, Rupa Goswami Pad is saying give 50% in Krishna service. So that 50% is that offer 10% as a donation, 10% for your yatra, 10% for your DT services in the temple or in your own home in the altar. Like that we can distribute, and we can try to engage that money in Krishna service. In fact, whatever means money we are acquiring, only getting through the salary and all, there is high chances of having bad karma connected to it, because we don't know what we are exactly what is our energy being utilized for, and that's why that money is corrupt, that money is contaminated. So by giving regularly in the service of Krishna, we purify it. So how do we understand? It is given by our acharyas that 50% comes to us.
I want to ask how much to earn so that others may not get affected. That means I am getting their share. How to know this?
Okay. Actually, I'm being a brahmachari is not a very qualified person to answer this. We as a Vairagi will tell you that whatever is required for your 3 meals, that is sufficient. You can always ask this to your superiors who are into Grihastha ashram. But what I understand principally that whatever we can utilize our time and energy, which should not disturb our practice of Krishna consciousness. If it is disturbing our practice of Krishna consciousness, like early morning wake up or chanting japa properly, regular reading, hearing on a daily basis, if it is affecting because of we are engaged into work so that we can earn more, that is not very favorable. So if you are having a sufficient time to practice our own sadhana, and with that, if you are earning, that is good. That I think that should be good. And obviously, atyahara prayasasya, you have studied this particular verse. So if you are over endeavoring, atyahara is not just overeating, it is over endeavoring. If our endeavors are too much for gratifying our senses or for earning or for doing anything, that is very hazardous for our spiritual practice. So it should not be hazardous to our spiritual practice. Our sadhana should be in line. That's very important. If it is with sadhana, we are getting sufficient time to earn, we can. And whatever is earned, we utilize in Krishna's service.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I think we'll stop here. Fine. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Isopanisad ki jai.